Hey everyone, welcome to another Release Over 20 live giveaway. This time for February 2025. Here we are on the end of the freeze of 2025, and people are back to fishing, getting some good reports coming in, and there's hope, which is a good thing. I've got a little story to add to that, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring on our board and staff. We got Adam. We got Carrie, we got Michael, and we got special guest Mississippi State Rep Don joining us again tonight.
Hey, Don.
And in a little bit, we're going to have extra special guest, Captain Bob from the On the Hook with Captain Bob radio show. So looking forward to that. And how's everyone doing? What's going on?
Doing good. Fishing not so good, but we're doing good otherwise.
Okay, not so good?
No. It's been terrible.
You got to follow Dave to North Carolina.
That's right.
Yeah, I think we got to go to North Carolina.
It's that transition time of year, isn't it?
I guess.
I mean, temperatures changing, patterns aren't really settled in.
Yeah, it's same down here. Same thing. I mean, fishing water's been cooled and it warmed up, scattered the fish, then it cooled down. They never did pile back up, and then it warmed back up. So fish just scattered everywhere. Plus, we had a lot of bait killed down here, so we are struggling with finding a lot of bait in the bays as the fish transition out. You know, I don't know where they're at. They just, you're going to catch 5 or 6. Some days you might catch 10, but it's just been scattered.
It's been like usually February is really good in the brackish water. You can really get on some numbers of redfish when you find the redfish. Like I usually put a hurting on them in February in some of my usual spots, and I did pretty good this month. But from here on out, you won't see a whole lot of redfish from me because they scatter out so much. But it's always a fun time of year in February. I used to hate March. I kind of gotten to like March a little bit.
I hate March.
I used to say the same as you a few years ago.
I really hate March.
But it can be pretty good. You get that trouter starting to bite. I don't know about this year.
I want that positive energy on your boat, David.
Okay.
March is great boating. The fishing may be okay.
I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Port Mansfield, so hopefully they'll some big bites down there.
Jealous here. Count me jealous.
Man, I was jealous last week of you up there with Josh. So
yeah. So it was cool. Here's Scotty. Scotty's chimed in.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up there with Josh in December, I think.
Scotty's listening, and I didn't realize how close you lived to Josh up there. I would have definitely liked to maybe swing by and maybe fish with you or check that out, but I never really knew you were that close. For some reason, I thought he was like an hour away from Josh. But anyway, he was pretty close. So what he actually did was brought some of the captain's awards up so that I could deliver them here to save on some shipping. But it was really cool. We all went over to Josh's house and had dinner together. Got a pizza and got to hang out with. Remember Lee from the iCast?
Yeah.
So Lee and Scotty, and my new friend who I've been interacting on Instagram a lot with, Roger Stewart. If you ever see Roger, he's always got the same pose. He's holding the trout up and he's going, and a lot of people, including me, have said, Roger, you got to change your pose. But if you look at his Instagram, it's every single one is him holding that pose. So we actually, we all joked about it. And when I was there, I actually made a pose. I made a little Roger Stewart tribute. But it was cool. It was cool to see everyone like that. And man, that fishery is amazing. Like you think about like Texas. We've been to Texas and all that. But just going up there, seeing, the the different kind of terrain, and there's like no tide. So all of us down here in South Carolina, that's like a really weird thing. Or the only way the water's moving is from the wind, pretty much.
Oh man.
Might change by 6 inches or something in 6 hours. It's like a lot different. But man, there's some big fish there. It's so awesome. Really, really cool. Like each day, Josh at least put 1 5-pounder in the boat. Day 2, I missed one that hit about right at the trolling motor. I was standing in the middle of the boat. So it was almost like 10 feet off the rod tip. And it was so green and it didn't get hooked well, and it just bit the hook, which kind of was a bummer. But what's that?
Top water bite?
Yeah, a little bit. 56-degree water. So, I mean, down here, we don't even start till I don't start till 62-ish. But, yeah, they were biting it pretty good. And I saw Josh post some pictures this week with a whole bunch more. So I think it's just the very beginning of that whole thing. He's like the top water master, so.
Yeah, no doubt.
Pretty cool.
He likes that black one with that green head.
Yeah, that's what he caught. He caught a nice one on that, about a 26-incher. But yeah, so Don, you got to go up there and fish with him.
I am. My plan's going to be for December.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. He's the nicest guy. So genuine, just humble, hardworking, and obviously great angler, but also super knowledgeable about his fishery.
Yeah, my buddy from down here, Corey Hudson, he brought his dad up there. Him and his dad went up there and fished with Josh. Had a great time.
Yeah. Everyone that knows him kind of raves on him. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he had a good interview on the Speckled Truth, kind of tell him where he come from, and
yeah,
pretty compelling story,
Yeah, it's a good listen. We actually listened to it. So my buddy Ray didn't know who he was, so we listened to it on the drive up there, so you could sort of get to know who he was a little bit. So
did anything in particular stand out? Like, were you catching him on hard plugs or soft plastics or any and everything?
Yeah. Hold on,
Adam.
Dude, come on.
Okay, let me remove this. So this is the new thing. It's a Berkeley. It's called a Cull Shad.
That's a big old sucker too.
6 inches.
Yeah.
What?
And
6 inches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that what you were fishing with, David?
So the first day we were fishing with a bunch of stuff, and he was kind of rolling this thing around. Got a lot of real good action on it. And day 3, me and Ray were pretty much using it exclusively. He started throwing top water, but that's what it looks like.
Wow.
So it's got like a treble embedded.
Yeah.
It's not an actual line through, but it's separated. It's like hooked here. And when you hook a fish, this thing falls out. So it can free swing. But the thing about this, man, is it goes 6 inches under the water. And if you just roll it real slow, it's got incredible action. It just looks like a real minnow. And you can roll it incredibly slow. And
you swim like a Molotron?
Yes, but better action. It swims kind of like a Molotron, but the action is like a minnow's. And
it's got that different paddle tail, and that Molotron's got that great big old fat tail.
Yeah, it's got a lot of tail action. But when you see that thing go, it's I think the trout just see that thing. It's just too easy. They gotta have it. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying that thing down in Guana. No question.
When you go to Guana?
In a couple weeks.
Couple of weeks. Yeah, I go to end of April.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so we got a few announcements to make before we introduce our guest. So first of all, we have a new board member, Dawson. So Dawson is a great add to our board because he's very experienced. he founded the Jerry Zucker Relay for Life, which is like a really big bike race in town. Real experience with nonprofits and fundraising in particular. And he's already been like a great mentor to me. We've met, about 3 times over lunch. And we've been actively soliciting some funding, and we're making some progress there. No announcements to make yet, but some really exciting things coming down the pike. That's really going to help us a lot. Just getting our message out even more than we have been. So thank you to Dawson. He's been amazing so far. If you hadn't seen it, I had a really cool opportunity to do a podcast with Toadfish Outfitters. Probably most of you know Toadfish. They got some rods and reels that are good quality for the money. They're not super high end, but they're you can get like a combo for like $130, and it's they're a little on the heavy side, but really good responsiveness. I like them. I've got several combos of theirs.
Yeah, I've got several too. The sensitivity is real good.
Sensitivity is really good. Yeah.
Yep, me too.
So Casey came to my talk at the Hadros Point Expo in Charleston and was really inspired by it. So he wanted to start doing a podcast like this, and this was the very first episode. So if you get a chance, like there's a few snippets on social media that kind of summarize some of the points, but if you go to their YouTube, just Toadfish, type in Toadfish on YouTube, you can watch the full thing. It's like 40 minutes, and I think it turned out pretty good. The audio video quality is like the best I've ever seen that I've been on anyway. It makes a big difference, I think. But really, really cool. We're working on something big that we're probably not ready to announce yet, but collaboration with Toadfish that we should be seeing around the June timeframe. That's also another thing going on with them. So really, really happy and excited and thankful for Toadfish and Casey in particular. So, okay, so the Pure Flats / Release Over 20 Hopedale, Louisiana Trout Tournament is a go. It's officially up on Fishing Chaos. You can already sign up for it. It's going to be April 12th, Saturday, April 12th. And it's going to serve as a fundraiser for us. And really grateful also for Greg, Slick Lures, and our reps down there, John and Cliff. And really looking forward to that. I'm going to be flying down there, participating in it. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're in the vicinity of Hopedale, come on out and fish it. We'll have a good time. Just going to be kind of low key, and kind of people who are in support of conservation. That's pretty exciting. Let's see. I wanted to show real quick. We posted this on our social. We're trying to get out some of the data that we've collected on our entries. And last time we showed the trout results. This is the same data, but for redfish. And I think it's really interesting because it really explains a lot about the biology. Because what you notice is that when redfish get to be 27 inches for males and about 30 inches for females, they reach adulthood, meaning they start to spawn. Up to that point, they've never spawned. But also when they reach adulthood, they start moving off, like away from the estuaries out into the nearshore region. So up until 30 inches, they're available for most anglers to catch on their small boats. And that's why you see all those catches up to 30 inches. And of course, like every other species, the bigger they get, the fewer of them there are. And then once they reach that adulthood, it kind of levels off because those bulls will be out there swimming around near shore and they'll come in to spawn. At that point, you don't know if they're 6 years old or 36 years old, but there's definitely far fewer of them, and they're not as accessible to people to catch. So that chart right there just tells a lot. And again, this is not altered data. This is actual catches entered into the site and just plotted out and separated by length. So it's just kind of a cool thing. But we're trying to get this data out. We just haven't really ever taken the time to compile it.
And what's the time frame on that data? Because we didn't
start with 4 years. Well, it's not 4 years. It's since we started, which is like I think either 2.5 or 1.5 years. Do you remember? I think it's 2.5. Like it was,
okay.
What do you think it was? 1.5?
It seemed like 1.5.
It might have been.
Either way.
It's all our data up to date. It's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
But I expect that this trend would continue the more data we get. In a few years, we'll just refresh it, see what we get. All right. So without further ado, we're going to bring on our special guest, Captain Bob. And here he is.
Well, good evening.
Let me solo you here if I can figure out how to do it. Let's see. There we go.
We're on.
Captain Bob, welcome to the show, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for the invite. It's wonderful to see everybody here. And I tell you what, Dave, that was an interesting slide you had just put up. And one of the numbers I actually wrote down was the gap from once those redfish hit 28 inches and over 28 inches to the next step. I mean, that decline is like half. I mean, there's about half of them left.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing that you're able to put all that together. Everybody here. I mean, it's certainly a work of the whole crew.
Yeah. That's what we, Bob and I had a discussion the other day. I just said, I keep getting called out personally for this, but I reminded him that this is an organization of many people making it happen. And, it's if it wasn't for everyone, I wouldn't be able to do it all, and I'm really grateful for everyone's involvement. But yeah, so this is we were joking a little bit because I've been on your radio show twice.
Yes, sir.
But now I get to interview you.
How about that? Oh my gosh, we're gonna have a good time. And yes. I don't know if we're supposed to tell people, but you are going to be the special guest this upcoming week. Could I go ahead and mention that?
Sure. Yeah. Why not? Of course.
So for everybody that's watching right now, head on over to iHeartRadio and go find the Outdoor Radio Network. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I'm going to have Mr. David Flatt on. And of course, we're going to be talking fishing, release over 20, maybe, something about a fishing trip that just happened, about a couple of big trout. Maybe I heard something about. So we're going to get the scoop on all that, but that will air tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Once again, Outdoor Radio Network on iHeartRadio, iHeartRadio.com, or the iHeartRadio app. How's that? Is that good?
Very cool. Man.
That was almost rehearsed.
Yeah, almost. So Bob, tell us, like, how did you end up with a radio show of all things? Right. I mean, you've got the radio voice and the radio personality. You actually have the TV voice in radio, but
that might be scary. Actually, I like to think I have a coach's voice, right? Yeah. Probably being a baseball coach, football coach, kind of gave me that tone. You've got to deepen it up a bit to make sure you get the play calls in, right?
That's right.
You got to get them to hear it. But that's a great question. Actually, this is our third season now. So about 3 years ago, I was approached by a gentleman. Steve Clendenden happens to be the owner of Maryland Media One. And he came up to me and said, Cap, I'd like to start a fishing show here on our network. And that was Carolina Gold at that time. And I says, oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations. Good luck. We have another wonderful show that's here local in town. Captain's been doing it for, I believe, 10 years now. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't interested in getting into the business or anything like that. Couple, 3 times later, he was quite persistent, and it just happened. So it came about that way, just out of the clear blue. I met Steve a couple of times. I had no idea the gentleman had owned a radio network. But I believe just through those meetings, he felt comfortable enough to do that. And then we went from Carolina Gold to Carolina Country, and now, of course, to the Outdoor Radio Network on iHeartRadio, which that is Dave, is really the cool thing, because the Outdoor Radio Network is America's first live radio station that's dedicated 24/7 to the great outdoors, right? It is the ESPN for the outdoors, hunting, fishing, everything else. In fact, on Monday morning, I kick off what is called the Captain's Corner. So you'll have On the Hook with Captain Bob at 10. Then another good friend of ours happens to have a radio show right after, and that is the Captain's Log radio show with Captain Jonathan Moss. Then Inside the Great Outdoors with Joe Coolis, and another friend of ours happens to be Captain Aaron Stasiak, the qualified captain. He'll come on. I believe that's going to be at 3:00. So it's a great day for the outdoors on Mondays. That's for sure.
That's great. And your reach expanded immensely once you got onto Outdoor Radio Network, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Outdoor Radio Network. Not only is it nationwide, but and I think we talked about this. It is global. So our show that airs at 10:00 on Monday will re-air at 7 p.m., which is actually 9 a.m. in Australia. So our friends over in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, everywhere that iHeartRadio is the Outdoor Radio Network.
That's outstanding.
That's pretty cool. It really is.
Congratulations.
And Dave, it's one of those things, right place at the right time, and we're very fortunate for that. And to be the ones that get to represent the Carolinas on a national platform. I mean, come on, doesn't get any better than that. Plus, I get to eat donuts, right?
That's right.
Every week.
If you watch his show, it's donuts factor in. I'm gonna leave it at that. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, or listen to it, right?
Or listen to it. Yep.
Yeah, we'll have it. It'll actually hit the Outdoor Radio Network first. Then after that, once ORN picks it up, we'll go ahead and push it out to YouTube, so you'll be able to see it there as well.
Cool. Now you have a special something going on this month, right?
We do. We have a very special something going on this month. This actually happens to be our March for Conservation. So all month long, for the month of March, we are focused on conservation and specifically Release Over 20. Our first guest this month, and we had to kick it off with a bang, and I think we did that. But we had another good friend of mine, Captain Chris Osmond, from Fine Catch Fishing Charters, and everybody that's on is probably quite familiar with Fine Catch. If you ever see the list of top captains, just look at the top 2 or 3, 1, 2 or 3. You'll probably find Chris in there with some of the other South Carolina guides, which is an absolutely amazing thing. We like that. But so this entire month, we will be focusing on the conservation efforts, especially with Release Over 20. Hence, my good friend David Flood coming up this week.
That's awesome. And so you had Chris Osman, you had me. Can you reveal who you got in the works?
It is absolutely going to be a top secret. It's absolutely top secret. I've got 2 wonderful guests that are lined up for the rest of the month, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. I had to try.
I know. That's okay. That's okay. Well, I've got to say that was impressive that you gave out that actual big bait. I don't know if I would have done that, Dave.
Yeah, I don't have any secrets. I really don't. Okay. Now, you are, what part of the state are you in?
So we're actually in, I'm in North Myrtle Beach. So I'm on the top of the state. I go out of the same inlet as Captain Chris, and right out of Little River. And, so that's where we're at up here.
Very cool. If you haven't had a chance to go back and listen to that interview with Chris Osman, it was really good. Like I was pumping my fist as I was listening to it while we were driving back from North Carolina. And one of the quotes that Chris said was, he's like, I don't care so much that I was the number one guide in South Carolina, as long as someone else from South Carolina was there too, because it's all about South Carolina. And I was like, yeah, because we're very proud. We don't have as much coastline as a lot of states in our reach, but it makes me really proud that we've got several guides that are as dedicated to Release Over 20 as they are, and like wanting to be in the top, like to kind of lead South Carolina in the standings nationally, and are that proud of it that they don't even care if they win, as long as like Jimmy Skinner wins or Stephen Fluke wins, So I hope that with time we'll get other states that are the same way. Like I'd love to see North Carolina, and I know Scotty's been kind of trying to get a few guys up there to get to that point, but we've got a few things to do on our end, like making it a little bit more easy for them to make entries, and we're working on that. But that made me really proud.
Well, there are some great estuaries out there, right? Whether it's North Carolina, Louisiana, Florida, you've fished a lot of them, you know most of them. To have South Carolina be on that list, regularly, right? It's a constant thing. That goes to, it kind of goes to show that our fishery here is indeed strong. So not only do we have the numbers, but we have the numbers of big fish. And the work that I do with the DNR, and I really think that our DNR is they're quite special. They really put the effort in. They know what they're doing. I'm all in with their efforts as well, but our fishery show that.
So tell our audience, like, how are you involved with them?
Oh, sure. So I'm one of the certified saltwater fishing instructors for the South Carolina Department of Natural Resource. In fact, I host the saltwater seminars for the DNR over at Bass Pro Shops here in Myrtle Beach. And our next one is coming up Wednesday, the 19th. I actually think it's full. There may be a waiting list, but that is a Flounder 101. So we're going to be doing that. And of course, that we've got the annual flounder tournament that happens up here in Murrells Inlet. So that's a nice kind of segue into that big tournament. But I absolutely love doing that for the Department of Natural Resource, getting out and just help bring the outreach of fishing to somebody that might be new to it, whether they're brand new to it or just new to the salt. I mean, my goodness, I was a freshwater angler until 30 years ago. Geez, I just showed how old I am. Yeah, it's been 30 years, but so about 3 decades ago. So at one point in time, I had to learn, what a double drop rig is and things like that, right? So now we're out there teaching that and instructing that, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, and it's great when you have someone with experience, to be that person to tell you how to do it instead of someone that doesn't really know what they're doing,
Right. Yeah. And it's show and tell as well, right? So it's hands-on.
Yeah.
We actually get to walk them through it. And when they leave the seminars, they've tied the knots, they've tied the rigs, and they're ready to go.
Yeah. So I almost forgot to mention this, but we are really honored that you actually reached out to me and said, as long as it's okay with you, like, I want to sponsor you. Or like, okay, yes. No brainer. But so can you tell us a little bit about what that's all about?
Absolutely, about the reason why. And you and I talked about this, Dave, for a bit, but the amount of inshore anglers that we have right now certainly outweigh the amount of offshore anglers that we have. And when I looked at all of the opportunities in the world of conservation that are out there, and we can get involved with any of them, quite a few of them, as many as we want. I really wanted to dedicate my time and my effort into one that I thought would have the most impact, right? And Release Over 20, focusing on the inshore fisheries, really does have the most impact. Again, especially here in our area, right, guys? We've got a lot of people that have moved into town. You know that if you're driving up and down Highway 17 here in the Myrtle Beach area, and that translates into anglers, right? Anglers, whether they're on the pier, whether they're off the beach, whether they're in the inlet, that's what that translates to. So Release Over 20 can really make a huge impact, especially with the amount of new anglers that the inshore fisheries have seen.
100%. Especially if you get them early, right?
Right.
Sort of, it's like here's how to tie the knot, here's how to target these fish, but also let's practice conservation like right off the bat. It's really impactful that way. So we're really grateful that you would do that. It's part of your intro now to your show.
Oh, yes.
It's sponsored by Release Over 20.
Right. You are our conservation partner, Release Over 20. And now you're going to have commercials. Release Over 20 has commercials now, not only throughout the show, but you're going to have commercials on the Outdoor Radio Network, thanks to Maryland Media One as well. So as long as we can continue to get the word out, our fisheries are going to be a better thing for that, because everybody that's here right now, right, we are all tied into that top to bottom, period. That is it.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, I really appreciate that 100%. Yeah. And I appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight.
I love it.
And I'm going to leave it open to the guys if you have any other questions for Captain Bob before we move on and do our giveaways.
No questions for me. But I mean, this is awesome. Thank you. Definitely makes my heart happy for you to support the mission and the cause, and it's fantastic.
Yes, sir. Absolutely wonderful. I'm thrilled to be part of it. Absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, I think from all the state reps, we'd all like to thank you as well, because like I said, we far removed from you guys. We scattered all over the South, up the East Coast, all the way down to Texas. So just to have that voice getting out there on the airwaves and reaching out to a lot more folks than we can get to by word of mouth or social media, that's great. Much appreciated.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Captain Bob, do you ever have you met Harold? I think he's in your area. I'm sorry. Rohrback, maybe Harold. He's a guide. Harold Rohrback.
That last name does not sound familiar. I do know a Harold, but that might not be the same one.
Okay, he's out of Cherry River, Cherry Creek,
Cherry Grove. Okay,
Cherry Grove. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he guides out of there, or he used to. I think he's on to other things now. But anyway, I'm meeting with him tomorrow. He's going to write an article for the Grand Strand magazine.
Absolutely.
For Release Over 20. So
awesome. Yeah, pass my info on, Harry.
I will definitely do that.
Please do. And in fact, the Cherry Grove Marina is on the other side of the bridge. I absolutely love our marina where we are at.
The drawbridge, right?
Oh yeah, I have to open that bridge every time I go.
I lived in Myrtle Beach, so I remember that.
Yeah, they're used to it. They see me coming.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, how do you go back and listen to, like Dave said, go back and listen to that first broadcast? Was that a podcast? Was that a radio interview? Or?
Yes, sir. So, Don, all of the radio shows that we have, they will go to Spotify that same day. So it'll actually hit, in fact, I believe our episode that we're going to have tomorrow, Dave, it will probably hit Spotify maybe 15 minutes after the show. So about 11 o'clock, 10 after 11, 15 after 11, somewhere around there, it'll hit Spotify. So you'll be able to get them all on Spotify. The video version of it will hit YouTube after the Outdoor Radio Network gets its time with it first.
Right. And that's how it's titled, Outdoor Radio Network.
Yes, sir. The Outdoor Radio Network, and that's on iHeartRadio.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just looked it up on iHeartRadio,
Yes,
so
sir.
I can listen tomorrow while I'm traveling.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Yeah. And
Yeah, I tend to listen on Spotify myself.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
It'll be broadcast live on Spotify as well.
Actually, it's a replay on Spotify.
Okay.
So the show will be live on the Outdoor Radio Network on iHeart.
Okay. At what time? 10?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Got it.
10 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
So I don't know if you saw that Ashley, our social media person, just chimed in and said she'll share the link tomorrow on her social media. So
Fantastic.
Yep.
And you will all be tagged, Dave, in those posts as they get pushed out in the morning as well, giving everybody the heads up that we're ready to go.
All right. Well, I'm sure Ashley will be right on top of it.
Awesome.
she's
Awesome.
been amazing.
Yeah, has been
great. Well, thanks again, Captain Bob.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you more than you know, and you're doing a great job. And thanks for all you do.
Anytime.
And don't let that donut get stale.
You know, I'm about ready to get it. And
I'm really curious if that's really coffee, though.
That's
Is
actually
it coffee or bourbon.
No, that's actually. I've got to admit, I'm not a big drinker. I've got to be the worst drinker ever. I have a fabulous liquor cabinet, but all the bottles have just a little bit out of the top, just for tasting it. I still haven't found the one that tastes like espresso.
That's what my buddies drink my liquor.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Okay. But this indeed, Carrie, is Italian espresso, and this is a real donut, which I'll be eating here in about 5 seconds.
Fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bob, you're welcome to hang out, or you can drop off whatever. We're going to go on and do our giveaway, okay?
Do the giveaway. I'm going to hang out and eat a donut.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. So let's talk about our infographics for February. So we had, I think, overall, we had less participation from other states, especially in the East Coast in February. We had a lot from South Carolina and the states that didn't get affected by the freeze. So although the numbers are really good overall, the participation was a little bit down because I think a lot of people lost 2 to 3 weeks from the freeze. And also, even if they could fish, they chose not to because just trying to let those fish survive. But we had monthly totals. We had 141 speckled trout entered, 460 red drum, 3 sheep's head, and 19 striper. And I think this little girl here is part of the SALTT, Rayburn Poston's little competition series for kids. And her dad, I think, was really excited that she was featured. So thank you, Ashley, for including her.
That's great.
Top guides of the month, we had a South Carolina sweep. We had Captain Stephen Fluke, Unashamed Adventures, with 87 fish entered. 48 from Jimmy Skinner with Fontaine Charters, and 32 with Fine Catch Fishing Charters from Chris Osman, who we talked about a minute ago. So that, again, that makes us proud with the South Carolina sweep.
Hey, David.
Yes.
Quick shout out to Unashamed Adventures. Do you remember several months ago when he said, "I will be that guy"? And he wasn't that guy. For several months, he was not that guy. And all of a sudden, he is.
In what context?
And just, he said he was going to be that guy that would have all of those entries.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, he's right. He is. And it's a big shout out to him. I'm really proud of him. He's done great things.
Yeah, he's really on the fast track, I think. And, he's doing it for all the right reasons. He's just really driven.
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere, and now he's all over the place filming TV shows and winning championships and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he made I guess, decided that in the month of February he's going to enter every single redfish that he caught over 20, and that's what he did. So, pretty cool. And there he is in the lead. He's probably going to win the drawing too, based on odds, right? Okay, so the top 10 national leaderboard, number 1, Robert Montana, who's always there at the top. He's one of our biggest contributors nationwide, and he's in Virginia. 88 fish entered. That took number 1 in the nation, and it took 9 to make the top 10. Brian Ford, there number 2. He fishes out of Bushy Park. He's been putting up some redfish numbers. Like I said, he fishes the same place I do for the most part, and yeah, he's been smacking some redfish. Good guy. Okay, state leaderboard. So South Carolina took the number 1 spot by a lot, and that's because we're on the reds and we're able to put up some numbers. That's going to change here soon when they start to dissipate. But when you find them stacked up in a spot this time of year, you can really catch a lot of numbers. So we're number 2 with Florida. We don't always see them in the top 3. Again, I think it's the fact that they're warmer. They didn't have the freeze like we did. So Virginia and North Carolina sort of got knocked back a little bit. It's good to see Louisiana with 28. Love to see that. And Mississippi with 21.
Hey, Dave, what was your, going back to your North Carolina trip, relative to the freeze, how, what was kind of the thought there? Because there were definitely some videos on social media that from that area that showed a lot.
Yes. Salty. Like, yeah. I saw where that was filmed, or it was near where we were. And yeah, so they had, so when I booked Josh, it was last fall. So we didn't know this freeze was coming, and he wasn't sure what it was going to be like. He himself went out into the creeks where we were fishing, and he saw, I think he counted like 80 fish up to like 32 inches that were dead.
Oh.
And he said, well, we counted 80. He said, but this creek holds thousands. So, keep that in mind. And I was like, okay, but he hadn't caught any big ones till I fished with him. And like day 1, we were fishing around and I think throwing that big lure I showed you before, and he got hit really hard, and it was like a 6-pounder. And he's like, okay, he sort of relaxed, like, oh, thank God, there's still some good fish around, And by the end of our 3 days there, he felt really good about it. I actually heard, I'm not going to give out his name, but we were on the phone with someone from Virginia Beach, and they got even a lot worse. And they went out and had a few trout, 26, 27, 28 inches. So they felt a lot better about it too. So I think the numbers definitely took, some percentage they got knocked back. I don't know what that percentage is, but there's still fish to catch.
Yeah, I seen Keith Nuttall posted something today. They found a few fish today.
Yeah. Yeah. Keith's one of them for sure. So it's good. Yeah. I mean, the numbers aren't what they were, but they're still obviously good fish to catch.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know how resilient they are. They bounce back quick. Look at Texas.
Exactly. They've been doing this for tens of thousands of years, right? Okay. Speckled trout leaderboard. Number 1 was Danny Nowak with 27. And it took 3 to make the top 10. A lot of familiar names on the list.
So I see 2 of my Mississippi guys in there, Norman Foskey and Vince Ray.
Oh, nice. That's good to see. I see you got a few too, Don, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. Norman just joined just this month. He just started participating.
Yeah.
That video.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
We're going to get that posted up.
Thank you.
If you see him, tell him we haven't forgotten about him. Just be patient.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay. So the red drum leaderboard, there's Robert with 73 and Brian in second place. I had 23 last month, and it took 3 to make the top 10. Ron Lende, a friend of mine from Jacksonville. Striper, Robert's there with 15. Zachary, and we had just a few sheep's head. It was a little disappointing to me. Sheep's head, people are really catching a lot of big ones in February, but they're just keeping them, I guess.
Vince targets sheephead. He's really a good sheephead fisherman.
Is he from your area also?
Yeah, he wins a lot of tournaments. Yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
a good sheephead guy.
And we're not catching the numbers from Patrick's sheep's head tournament going on right now down in Alabama.
Oh, he's got the Convict Classic going on.
Convict Classic, and there's literally hundreds of sheep's head released in the release over 20 category for that.
Right.
We're just not set up to see those in our tracking, but it's definitely happening. So we had Marcus Eastman with 3 flounder, Ethan Gobble. He's from your area too, right?
Yeah, that's another Mississippi guy. Yeah, I know Ethan.
It's good, man. I know just you getting the word out, Don, is making a difference down there.
No, Ethan's a young guy, and
Mm-hmm.
he fishes with a lot of young guys. And I tell you, they have really embraced this release over 20 conservation concept. And them being so young, it's spilling over into their friends as well. So hopefully these young guys getting on board is going to continue to propagate and, get everybody on board,
Yeah, those guys have been great. He's got, is it a brother named Mason?
Yeah, Ethan, Mason. Yeah. Then they got another friend named Aaron Presswood. Mm-hmm. I think there's 3 of them Gobble boys, and then his other friend's Aaron Presswood.
Very cool. Well, if these guys are listening back, thanks, guys. Makes a difference.
Much appreciated.
Much appreciated. All right. So I also wanted to include this, and this is our new business and organization leaderboard, and it's really like a release over 20 staff and state reps was the number 1 in February. iStrike was number 2, and it's really just because when I'm entering my fish, I'm tagging them, both of those. There's a few other ones though. That I think there had to be a few other people who were in our release over 20 staff that tagged us. Was it one of you guys, or I don't know, but really cool to see the Salt Strong clubs join, and we had 3 of those or 4 of those represented, along with Low Country Kayak Anglers in the Grandstand club as well. So as time goes by, we want to start like putting these out on social media, the leaderboards, and try to get people doing that and see if we can get some more incentives for them. Like, I don't even know how or what, but it'd be really neat to get these monthly leaderboards out there for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and do the giveaway. So I'm going to turn it over to Carrie.
So we got the captains up here.
Yeah, this first one's captains. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got an Epoch mouse pad, iStrike released over 23 16th 3-pack, Coastal Swim Baits, Aftco koozie, Drum Spots medium T-shirt in military heather, Mirror 18 MR Topwater Company pack clips, and Z-Man scented dark shads in redfish toad.
A very nice package. And we have, let's see. Oh, hold on a second. I think I have this straight by now. We have 144 entries for the guide program. And we're going to roll it 3 times. Winner will be the 3rd roll. First one is 16. Second is 9. And the winner is 111, which is Stephen Flukes. Yeah, I told you. Hey,
all it.
The more you enter, the better your chances of winning. So,
great captain's giveaway.
His quote unquote client was Nick Winch, his tournament partner. But I know Nick's going to appreciate that pack because he's a hell of a fisherman, and he's a hell of an artificial lure fisherman too. Okay. So
all right,
move on to giveaway A.
Okay, this is General A. This is Marshwear sun mask and a sticker, coastal swim baits, coastal swim bait sticker, an AFTCO koozie, and a key float. Arctic ice, large purple ice pack, which we're about to run out of those things, which is fine. But this has been 2 years now since ICAST that David gave us that donation. David from Arctic Ice gave us that donation. So awesome. Pure Flats, Greg Sample. We got a package of baits we're giving away and a decal, but shout out to Greg Sample because he just donated $1,000 that will go a long ways with us. Adam can talk about that, but man, we don't pay anybody anything except for just the gal that sends off our mailing and the young lady that does our social media, but we don't pay them a lot. I wish we could pay them more. But thank you, Greg Sample, for that $1,000 donation.
100%. So in the main draw, main draw, there's 479 entries. And add that 479. Okay, so third roll will be the winner of giveaway A, which is first one's 50, 423, and the winner is 423 again, which is Robert Montana. The more you enter, the better chances of winning. Proven over and over again. That was for a 23-inch red drum. Congrats, Robert. We'll be in touch. And we'll go to giveaway B.
All right, giveaway B is a Release Over 20 gray T-shirt in large. Not that it matters. If you need to exchange it, we can do that. Pure Flats package of
especially
baits.
XL.
Okay, XL. Pure Flats package of baits and sticker. Slapfish decal, Z-Man, Darter, Z Purple Death, and a hook cap.
Awesome.
The hook cap's like $30 value, so
they're high end cap.
Yeah, they are. They're very nice.
Okay, 3 rolls for giveaway B. First one 385, 169. The winner is 265, which is 265. Robert again. So I'm going to roll one more time. 272, which is Raymond Alexander from Florida, the 23-inch red drum. Congrats, Raymond. And let's do giveaway C.
All right, last giveaway for the evening is the AFTCO key float and a koozie, Pure Flats package of baits and a sticker, drum spots playing cards, which are really nice little cards, and a green T-shirt, large drum spots, and Q8 package of artificial baits, Epoch batteries, water bottle, and a Carolina First Mate Incognito mosquito spray. And I just got to tell you, if that works on gnats, man, this is the time of year you're going to want that.
Yes, you'll get literally carried away
at the landing, man. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Okay, giveaway C. First roll 228, second 259. The winner is 314, which is Robert again. So okay, roll one more time. 298. 298. Scott Ward from Florida with a 21.5-inch trout.
Wow.
Congrats to Scott. And Robert Montana is a lucky dude. He would have won 3 times tonight. That's crazy. Anyway, so that's the giveaways. We will be back next month, and we will contact the winners and get your addresses. And starting next month, we're going to have our own branded apparel giveaway, which is pretty exciting. Thanks to Hook.
Awesome.
Thanks to Hook Fishing for donating solar shirts and hats for us to do this. So really grateful to them. And thanks again, Captain Bob, for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
You're the best. Keep up the good work.
Sure.
And thanks again for allowing us to be one of your sponsors. And we will close it there with the word from Ray Filliot. Great job, guys. Thanks. Thanks, Ray.
Awesome.
Thanks, Captain Bob.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
Thanks
Y'all
a
have
lot.
a good night.
Good luck in Texas, Don.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Get them done.
See you guys.